London is super, super red. Super Bayern also, actually. Hi there, I'm Adrian and I'm pulling the microphone closer to me on www.youtube.ca/UCL this week. Let's get right into the UCL news. We'll start in London's Stamford Bridge, and it was the visitors, Bayern Munich, who looked the most lethal throughout the match. They were cutting through the Chelsea backline quite regularly, with Lewandowski and Müller threatening to open the scoring in the first half. And I think the first half was actually when Chelsea's best chance came, coming from Alphonso's driving run into the box around the 42nd minute, in which they won a corner from that, and forced a save from Neuer. In the second half, an Azpilicueta slip allowed Gnabry to play a neat give-and-go with Lewandowski, which ended with the German scoring to give Bayern the away goal. Feel bad for Azpilicueta on that one. The slip made that goal, really. Not to take away from Gnabry and Lewandowski, of course, because they still had some work to do, and that was some great interplay. And it was Groundhog Day also for Chelsea, when minutes later, Gnabry and Lewandowski played another give-and-go that ended with the ball getting arrowed into the side netting of the goal. What a finish. 2-0, just like that. Gnabry with his 6th goal in London this season, and in the Champions League in general. I mean, the quality of the Bayern attack of Müller, Lewandowski, Gnabry is beautiful to watch. Then you have Davies and Thiago driving forward. I thought Coman was a little subdued in comparison to the rest, but Bayern's attack was looking great. And then Coman got injured, actually. Feel bad for him. Davies watch. Yes, Adrian, head of Davies propaganda here. He had a good game. He was getting caught out of position on a few occasions, but he always did well to catch up each time, once showing some great strength to hold Mount off to shield the ball out. So it was a good recovery. The only problem was that it was happening a couple too many times. I mean, it happened again in the second half, but again he showed his pace to recover until his pièce de résistance, the sprint from Edmonton strikers to Stamford Bridge, as he left Chelsea players in his wake before putting it on a plate for Robert Lewandowski. 3-0, game super over now, and the tie over too? You can't see this Chelsea team coming back from this. I mean, it's the Champions League, so who knows? Magic can happen, but I can't really see it here. Really impressive performance from Bayern as they asserted their dominance and furthered my belief that they have to be considered a favorite. I get it, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge is as big of a downgrade as going from Paco to Adrian, but still, Bayern have been incredible on each of their visits to London now. 10 goals scored in their last 2 matches, as the Bavarians have now won all 7 of their UCL matches, scoring 27 goals on that run. Amazing form. Lewandowski with 11 of those goals. Oh yeah, and Alonso got himself sent off in the 83rd, so Chelsea will obviously be without him in the second leg in Munich, while Bayern announced on Wednesday that Lewandowski will be out for about 4 weeks as he has to get knee surgery. That's a blow, for sure. The guy has been good for about a goal a game, and his involvement in the 2 Gnabry goals can't be understated. Not worried about Bayern in this tie, but with Bobek out, do you give more time to Xerxes, move Davies up to the wing, and bring on Coutinho to push Müller further up the pitch? We'll see. Okay. Maradona Town versus Messi FC, as it is known as officially, wasn't the most incredible match to take in, especially compared to the high-octane match going down at Stamford Bridge. This one was more of a match to, sip an espresso to, you know? But it had some great moments. Dries Mertens did treat us to a great goal in the 30th minute, curling one into the top corner from the top of the box, and then doing his, in my humble opinion, very cringy goal celebration. But I mean, maybe that's the point. Maybe he's clowning everyone with that ridiculous celebration. Maybe it's a performance art piece, you know? Anyway, the goal came about due to Junior Firpo's mistake in coughing up the ball to Zielinski, and then once the ball came to Dries Mertens, you could feel he was going to pick that out. In the second half, Busquets played a great ball through to Nelson Semedo, and he casually squared to Griezmann to give Barcelona the away goal they had sought from this match, meaning it should be a much easier mission back at the Camp Nou. Insigne almost put Napoli ahead again immediately after, but it was a little too close to Leno. But the German did get down well to save. After that, just 2 minutes after that actually, Stegen was called on again, as Callejon was in all clear. Again, a disappointing finish as it was right at Stegen, but great positioning from the keeper. Again. Vidal did well to get himself sent off so that he won't be an option for Barcelona's midfield. Stupid double yellow as he got one for the foul and then one for the head-to-head reaction suspension with Mario Rui. Not only that, but Busquets got a yellow, meaning he will be suspended for the next match as well. So Barcelona's midfield, hopefully not a problem for them. In my predictions, I was reluctant to fully write off Napoli as they have been good in the Coppa Italia against Lazio and Inter. They eliminated the former and beat the latter 1-0 away. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to finish the job against Barcelona, but I could see them scoring at the Camp Nou. I still think Barcelona will win on the night and therefore in the tie as well, I guess. Okay, there's going to be a wardrobe change because I got to go to a Champions League match myself. CONCACAF Champions League. I'm going to Montreal hosting Deportivo Saprissa. I'm feeling optimistic. Just to give you a little preamble and you'll see my immediate reaction after, but I'm feeling optimistic. We got 2 away goals. We typically perform fairly well in the Olympic Stadium, or at least our pedigree in this competition. The last time we were in it, we always played really well at the Olympic Stadium, besides in the final. So, hey, you never know. BRB. We back. Apologies if you hear my cat crunching on kibbles in the background. But anyways, the Santiago Bernabeu played host to not just Real Madrid versus Manchester City, but to the Bald Clásico, the one tie to rule them all, and one tie to determine who indeed, definitively or at least until they meet again, is the Bald Fraud. Right off the bat, Sterling, Aguero, Fernandinho on the bench was a little surprising to me, although due to yet another Aymeric Laporte injury, poor guy, Fernandinho did come on half hour into the game. Gabriel Jesus on the left with Bernardo Silva and KDB pushing up now and then. It had that familiar scent of Guardiola perhaps trying to be overly creative with his team selection, you know? Or was he brilliant? As for Madrid, the only surprise I guess could potentially be Vinicius starting ahead of Bale, but let's be real, is it ever really a surprise anymore when someone is started ahead of Gareth Bale? Not really. Madrid looked the more dangerous team on the ball early, though City's strange setup seemed to be working, with Gabriel Jesus nabbing the ball from Carvajal, with his pressing nearly carving out an opportunity to attack. And you know what? Having Gabriel Jesus with his movement on the left up against Carvajal as opposed to Sergio Ramos and Varane, very effective. With better finishing, he would have scored after 21 minutes when he cut inside on Varane, having snuck in behind Carvajal. It was wild to see how far up the pitch the Madrid center backs were roving to cut off passes. There was a moment where Ramos stole the ball and charged forward with it from Man City's midfield, and the half-cleared cross that came as the result of that was picked up by Varane, about 25 yards out from the goal. Wild. The first half sort of petered out, but in the second, it was much of the same. Man City looking to do damage in transition, and in the 50th, De Bruyne and Mahrez nearly made something happen when Casemiro was caught in possession for the second time in a few minutes. And as the second wore on, City grew in confidence, while Real Madrid's confidence on the ball looked like it was starting to wane for some reason. But that was all part of the plan, right? Draw them into this false sense of security, and then hurt them, so they will never trust again. And that's how Real Madrid did it. They made the most of a string of mistakes by City's defense, the ever threat to his own defense, Otamendi, playing a hospital pass to Rodri, and Real Madrid nabbed it and stormed down the other way. The ball to Isco from Vinicius was great, and the finish from the Spaniard past Ederson was even better. From there, the involvement of Fede Valverde became even more apparent. Just in general, Man City's midfield was looking a little bit absent at this time. Whether it was Casemiro and Valverde or Sergio Ramos and Varane stepping into midfield, Real Madrid were winning everything. Except for in the 79th minute, when Sergio Ramos couldn't reach a header and Gabriel Jesus steered it past Courtois for a vital away goal, and suddenly the wind was in their wings. Everything had changed. The match truly flipped on its head when Sterling was brought down by Carvajal, who was the Achilles heel of Madrid's defense all game. De Bruyne made no mistake, capping off a massive second half turnaround in which he played a large part. Actually, no, it wasn't capped off just yet because, again, Gabriel Jesus stole the ball and got in behind the Real Madrid defense, forcing a foul out of Sergio Ramos on the edge of the box, for which he got a red card for. No argument from him, even if the contact was absolutely minimal. So Ramos is suspended and Mendy is suspended, 2 guys from Madrid's back line, and the first loss for Zinedine Zidane in the Champions League knockout stages. 2-1 City, great management from Guardiola with the team he sent out there, playing Jesus on the left, bringing Sterling on late when Carvajal would have been tired from keeping tabs on Jesus all night. Brilliant. So yes, 2-1 City in Madrid as they take that advantage back to the Etihad. Madrid, man, Hazard out injured and a refusal to use Bale, plus the huge collapse of their midfield after going 1-0 ahead. They really have it against them in the second leg. Lyon versus Juventus will have had fans of the old lady pretty frustrated as per protocol lately, they looked completely flat in the first half. Flat to the point where Lucas Toussaint gave the hosts the lead, and Lyon continued to play well following that, getting the better of the chances between the two teams. Akambi, man, he should have made it 2-0. Dembele with a great opportunity. Cristiano Ronaldo took a free kick for Juve straight into the wall. That was his 25th consecutive free kick in the Champions League that he has failed to get on target. Just a horrific stat, especially when you have someone like Dybala on the pitch. It's infuriating if you're a Juve fan. It has to be. It would be driving me crazy. But then on the flip side of that, if we're being fair to Juve, Ronaldo was the only guy that was creating any semblance of danger in that first half. And unfortunately, it was from him crossing, typically, which is not where you want your best finisher to be, on the wrong end of a cross. Not a huge surprise though, as this Juve team is taking a similar trajectory as Sarri's Chelsea as far as the time period of people thinking, this is unconvincing and falling short of expectation. Though of course the difference is, Sarri has Juve at the top of the table in the Serie A, but the path to Juve playing some real Sarri ball can be at times an unconvincing one. It's part of his process, I guess. Juventus's midfield is still a problem. They bring in players like Rabiot and Ramsey in the summer, and despite the obvious quality the likes of those two possess, they just don't look convincing, much like their team in general, I guess. But yeah, Bruno Guimaraes, on the other hand, for Lyon, bossed the midfield, making Bentancur, Pjanic, and Rabiot look very pedestrian. In the second half, Juve were much more convincing on the ball, and they looked a little more dangerous going forward, but they were all possession and no spark really. Just passing and moving for passing and moving's sake without ever getting a single shot on target in this match. Can you believe that? Not one. So this match ended 1-0 for the host Lyon, a huge result for the 7th best team in Ligue 1 currently, as they became the first French club to defeat an Italian club in the Champions League in 8 years now. It was Juve. It wasn't great for Juve, but we'll remember to last year when they were 2-0 down to Atletico and brought it back to the Allianz Stadium and smacked those boys. So we'll see. Could yet be Ronaldo's season, but this Juve team is looking terrible lately. So that's that. The next time you'll see the Champions League action will be on March 10th. That's between Valencia and Atalanta, and then RB Leipzig and Spurs. The next day we'll see the conclusion of Liverpool versus Atletico at Anfield, and then Dortmund going away to the Parc des Princes to take on PSG. I am very excited, and this video is very finished. As always, I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't be shy about hitting the like button. Just do it when nobody's looking if you're embarrassed about it, okay? My name is Adrian, I love ya, and I'll see you soon for Roots of the Rivalry, Derby d'Italia. Okay, bye.